as we are waiting for individuals to join to learn about this very fascinating topic, if you want to just drop into the chat where you're signing in from and how you heard about this workshop specifically, please go ahead and do that, because we would love to kind of hear how you found out about this workshop today. It just gives us an idea of kind of like how to speak into it. Because for those of the individuals who are coming in from our closed like Green Door Life community, you guys will have access to asking us questions through our internal chat in our Slack channel. And for those of you who are in our broader community, we'll direct you kind of to a different place to get more information about what we're going to be sharing today. So just drop it in the chat and kind of let us know what's going on. Hi, Bailey. Hello, hello, welcome again. We got Jenna from Plymouth, MA, and Katya. Oh, yay. Amanda on my lunch break at work in Ashland, Oregon, and part of the GDL community. Oh, yes. Lena, GDL community, beautiful. All right, if you're just joining, just tell us where you're joining in from if you can. And just in good old-fashioned proper Zoom etiquette, we're just going to ask that you guys keep yourself on mute unless we're moving into Q&A. And hi, Andre. It's great to see you. Yay. Awesome, awesome. All right, you guys. So as we're waiting for the last few moments here to let some more people drop in, we'll just kind of go into what we can anticipate today. I'll introduce myself and then I'll pass it off to Lisa, and then we'll move into Christine and Katya, who will be presenting this all today. So if you don't know me, my name is Shannon Morse. I'm the co-founder of the Green Door Life with my lovely business wife. I think we're calling each other business wives. Lisa Kirby, who's in the leopard print in the little box. You can see her there. And why we wanted to bring this workshop to our audience, both our private community and our greater audience, is because one of the things that we feel so passionately about I just said passionately, but it's actually passionately. One of the things I feel so passionately about and that we do inside of the Green Door is really looking at the quality of information, the quality of food, the quality of movement, the quality of light, the quality of everything that we are putting into our body and absorbing from our environment, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, what the quality is. And what's so cool about the Green Compass, which is the base of this presentation today, and looking at products such as CBD and hemp, the quality in California, or in the US, is not regulated. And that's a big thing. And it's a big thing because that means that there's a vast gap of knowledge for individuals to truly understand what they're putting into their body if they're choosing to supplement with something like CBD. So the fact that that hasn't been regulated really has this huge kind of pendulum effect where people are like, great, CBD, but then they might be experiencing things in their body that are actually like really counterindicative of what they're trying to experience. And one of the things that I'll share two things about one of the reasons why we were really excited about this. I tried one of their products, which was a CBD product, which was a roll-on. My fiance had sprained his ankle, couldn't walk. Oh, there it is. Katya's showing it. And I had fallen down the stairs and really injured my back pretty badly. And I went to the chiropractor and I was getting dry needling and I was doing all the things that I know how to do because I've been in the movement industry for so long. And Christine actually shared this product with me. So I started using it and I was able to walk without pain for 4 hours. And to be honest, I was a little bit like, maybe it's placebo. Like, I don't really believe that thing could do the thing. And then I gave it to Rafa and I was like, okay, like your ankle's like sprained. It's like really out of commission. And he put it on his, and we were kind of walking around at a market for 4 hours. And we were kind of like, do you feel good? Because I feel good. And so, okay. So then I just started sharing a lot about it. And then I started some other products and some of the other products like the gummies, the bath bombs. Like there's just I'm just very, I'm very excited that I was just found it because I'm really enjoying these things because they actually work, which I think is really important. And it also doesn't have a residue. Like I don't feel like a side effect that my body has to then process out of it. I actually feel like it does what it came to do, and then you're on to the next thing. So that's what's been really cool for me, and one of the reasons why we're talking about, and one of the reasons why quality matters so much, because that is not the case with all CBD products. So Lisa, I'll pass it to you for what your experience has been.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I actually first got into CBD. It was really the same time that it kind of blew up, on everywhere, advertising, marketing. You started to hear more about it. You find it in like little CBD vials in like the gas stations. I'm like, dang, like, okay, this isn't THC. It's not marijuana. Like, what is this thing, right? And educated myself enough. Like, I am a total research nerd, so I was like looking online and looking for, okay, what to look for. I was really using CBD initially to help me stop drinking alcohol, because once I learned about the negative long-term impact of alcohol, when I started my nutrition balancing journey, I was like, well, that's definitely needs to go. So I stopped drinking for 6 months straight. And I noticed, and what you may find if you've ever gone extended periods without drinking alcohol, your entire physiology changes and you're going to start to feel incredible cravings, everything from, craving sweets, your blood sugar is rebalancing, your liver is healing and recovering. And I was looking for some relief to get me through that transition. And so I looked to CBD. So I found what I thought was a fantastic premium brand. And, like I read all about where it was sourced and all of these things. My body reacted so poorly. I have pictures from this time when I was taking it. I looked 7 months pregnant. My digestion was messed up. I had like everything that was promised to me of like, oh, use CBD and you'll have these like great benefits. I had the opposite. And what was strange was how long it took my body to clear that. So I was taking it for about a month, and it took me 3 months to kind of get back to this baseline of like not being bloated and having regular digestion and having a regular period, because it does impact your entire ECS system, which Christine and Katya are going to talk about here. So that I took a break from CBD. I was like, goodbye, like done with that. But really finding out later and testing these products out, what a gift, because I still don't drink. I can count on one hand the amount of times I drink in a year. But it's nice to have something like on those days where you're like, I literally and need something, a walk's not cutting it today. And it's such a gift to know that there's something that's not only going to not make me feel 7 months pregnant, but also be really nourishing and feel good in my body. So I absolutely love the Green Compass products. They're so incredibly effective. And then knowing the source and knowing that it's not cut with all these ingredients that can cause that kind of bloating and inflammation. So I'll let Katya and Christine take it from there.
Sorry, I had to find the mute button. There's a lot of things happening on the screen right now. So I'll just do a quick introduction. Thank you, Lisa and Shannon. I'm so excited to be here with Katya to share with you guys Green Compass. So I'm Christine Calegari, and I've been with Green Compass for just about a year now. The products that were game-changing for me specifically. I was having terrible sleep and a lot of stress and anxiety with 3 kids and just perimenopause time of life and all kinds of things. So it just felt like when I found it, it ended up being sort of a missing link that sort of tied all the other things I was doing together. A lot of that coming from Green Door Life, obviously. And then I'll let Katya introduce herself real quick, and then we'll get going.
Hi, I'm Katya Johnson. I live in Boston, and I've been with Green Compass for about a year and a half. And similar to Christine, I had a really stressful summer, 2 summers ago. My nervous system was completely shot and basically was so tapped out that I was in fetal position crying, couldn't get out of bed. I was in a really bad way. And I learned about Green Compass, and similar to what Lisa said, I had tried CBD before, didn't feel any different, didn't notice a change at all. But I had heard about Green Compass, and I thought, you know what, if I'm going to give it another shot, I'm going to try these products. And with our nano jellies, which we'll go in a little bit of the technology around them and how they encapsulate the CBD and work in our systems, I felt an immediate difference. My nervous system calmed down. I was able to take a breath, focus, and assess my situation and change it. So that's my story. Great. So happy to be here. Love the Green Door Life. I've been a client of theirs as well, and I'm just honored to speak to all of you today.
Awesome. Okay. So, well, I'm just going to go through the agenda. I would love to hear just from everybody who's on today. You can just drop it in the chat if you've tried CBD before, if this is brand new to you, just to help us get a sense of, you know, how in depth to go on some things. So if you guys want to drop that in, but what we'll cover today is kind of what CBD is and it isn't, how it works in the body, who it can help, and sort of the common, you know, uses for it, and then some suggested protocols for common issues. And then we'll get into a little bit about Green Compass and why we've aligned ourselves with it, which is also similar reasoning behind why Shannon and Lisa are big fans of these products. It's a company doing things all the right way. And then we will go from there. Awesome. Okay, so we've got brand new, used for 4 years, using some of the products. Tried different brands, Carrie. One made me stupid and the other made me high. Great. All right.
Oh, we're going to debunk some myths here too. Like CBD should never make you feel high, period. So that was not CBD.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So new, and then have tried some different brands. Great. Okay. So one thing I just want to start with, because this is always everyone's first question, to Katya's point, CBD will not make you high. There's a hemp plant and there's a marijuana plant. They're all in the cannabis family. So hemp has to have less than 0.3% THC and has been legal since they passed the Farm Bill in 2018, that it can be used for therapeutic uses. As a supplement. It's not intoxicating and it is federally legal. Marijuana, on the other hand, has higher THC, has that intoxicating high, and that one is federally controlled. So they're same species, but different plants and very different uses and applications.
Yeah, we like to say hemp is to heal, marijuana is to feel.
Yes. So CBD can be found in both plants, but typically the hemp plant has high CBD, low THC, like we said, and marijuana is generally the opposite. So the other thing that's important to understand is that we commonly say CBD, but that is just one of the many compounds in the cannabis or in the hemp plant. So there's CBN, there's CBG, there's CBA, there's like 140 plus cannabinoids that are in the hemp plant, and they all work better together. So it's something that they call the entourage effect, where they each do individual things within our body, but they work best and supporting each other to enhance the benefits. So that's why when we'll be talking about using a hemp flower extract product, you're not really just taking CBD. You are taking a hemp flower extract that has all of the cannabinoids, plus the terpenes and flavonoids, which are other essential healing parts of the plant. And there's a few things that are important to know when you're considering using hemp wellness or CBD products. They come in 2 different ways. One is a full spectrum, which, as I was talking about, gives you the entire hemp flower extract. So that will include that 0.3% of THC. The other option is a broad spectrum product, which has the THC removed. So for people who get drug tested at work, if you are using this for your kids, a lot of people choose broad spectrum. If you are sensitive to THC, The cannabinoids work differently in everybody's body. It's very individual. So some people find that full spectrum is best for them, and some people find they're sensitive to it and will opt for broad spectrum, but they both have incredible benefits and will give you all of the cannabinoids, terpenes, and flavonoids from the hemp flower. Just the THC is the difference there. There are also different delivery methods. So you can do an oil tincture that you shake the bottle gently, put a dropper under your tongue, and then hold it up to 5 minutes, honestly, like as long as you can possibly, but a minimum of like a minute to 2 minutes to really make sure it gets absorbed properly. And then we also have jellies, which are another great option, and they're easy. Sometimes people just, whatever is easiest for you to get you the results you want, it really is truly personal preference. So the jellies are great. That was what Katya had mentioned. We have nanotized technology so that they can really be highly absorbed, because there are a lot of products out there without that technology, and you're not actually going to be able to absorb. I think it's like 7 to 10% of the CBD in there that your body will absorb versus ours, which is like 90+%. And then there are topical treatments also. So we have CB1 and CB2 receptors that we'll get into in a second all over the body. So you can ingesting CBD or hemp flower extract will reach some of those, and then topical application can reach other ones. And then I'll show just, this is a lot, and it's a very pretty colorful wheel. That's great to serve as a guide as far as if you're looking to target with some of the specific cannabinoids for certain issues. But what we'll talk about is that we really recommend a full hemp flower extract product as your base foundation. So you're getting all of these things, and then treating individual, persisting issues from there with specific cannabinoids. And really, it is so bio-individual that there's a trial and error process. I know a lot of people nowadays, we've been trained to think, there's a one size fits all, like I pop a Tylenol or whatever it is. And really, that will mask symptoms, but not treat the root cause of them. And if you can give yourself some time to learn to be in tune with your body and listen to what it's trying to tell you, like even pain has a purpose. It's our body trying to tell us something. So you'll get much better results long term with a root cause treatment like this. So Katya, I will turn it over to you as far as talking about the endocannabinoid system.
Thanks, Christine. Yes. So we all have this endocannabinoid system that was discovered in the 90s, and it runs all of our major processes. So you can think of it as just another system in your body that helps put you back into that homeostasis state. And so as Christine was talking, these receptors, the CB1 and CB2, they're all over. Those are the little dots that you see on that graphic. And we actually produce cannabinoids naturally. We produce 2 of them. They're also found in our breast milk. So it makes sense if you are nursing a baby and they calm down, that's part of that process. But with modern day stressors, we're not able to replenish our endocannabinoid system fast enough. I always say that 5 times fast. So I'm going to go talk about it as the ECS. We can't replenish our ECS system quick enough. And so the hemp plant has a similar molecular structure to the cannabinoids we already produce. So you're really just putting back in what you already are producing yourself anyway. And it kind of, not to get woo-woo, but it kind of makes you think about the whole plant-human connection, right? Like we're all sort of put on this earth and connected in some way. And so it's really neat. And what's even more exciting is when you do ingest hemp-based supplement, it knows where to go. It will find the spot in your body where you're depleted and start to fill it. So that's why we call hemp-based wellness the ultimate supplement for your ECS system. I know, is there anything else?
No, you're good. Sorry, it's hard when we're doing the slides together, but I just always love this quote, because talking about, this is going to end up being a household product. Green Compass is going to be a household name, because this is like the most popular topic right now in the health and wellness industry, because it is such a broad therapeutic and anyone can benefit, adults, kids, pets, We all have endocannabinoid systems, and this is going to be a game changer over the next several years. So, yeah, so just to get into a little bit of sort of what Katya mentioned, it's a broad therapeutic that covers endless things, and the research is growing daily. I mean, a lot of it is anecdotal right now because it has not been studied for nearly long enough. And it was so, there's a lot of changes coming as far as improving regulation and making sure that there are good and clean products out there. But there's also a lot of medical professionals who are still not aware of the endocannabinoid system. It's taught in I think it was 13% of medical schools, which I can go on a whole tangent on that topic. But as it becomes more and more mainstream, you're going to be seeing it everywhere because it can help with so many issues. Whether it's just for me, I said it was sleep and mom stress, all the way to seizures and addiction and all these other things.
Yeah. And I just wanted to make a point that, I live in Boston, as I mentioned, and Mass General, they are starting to really incorporate a whole cannabis and CBD in particular, specialists into the program because they are realizing that people are moving in that direction. They kind of need to get with the program. So it really is interesting to watch. But the problem is, and you might have had someone that you were seeing a specialist recommend CBD, but that's where they stop. They don't know who to trust because it's so unregulated. And so we're out there educating them on these topics ourselves so that they are able to recommend a CBD product that they can feel good about. And we'll get into that, what you need to look out for when you're selecting a CBD product later on, but just wanted to interject and share that as well.
No, I appreciate that. So a couple of things I like to go through just because people are like, how is this going to help me? So a couple of the most common uses that we see, I was just going to walk through, and you guys can definitely let us know in the chat if any of these resonate or sound like you. And then we'll go back and answer questions. Kiana, I see your question there in the chat. So yes, we'll answer that. But I would guess I would call myself a combination of this Sleepless Sally and Moody Mary. I was getting poor sleep quality. I was having trouble falling asleep. I was stressed out and short with my kids. Pretty much all of that, minus the migraines and headaches. That wasn't my thing, but everything just felt kind of hard, if you will. And so I started taking these products, and it along with other lifestyle changes, I take morning walks. And if you're a Green Door person, or if you were on our earlier workshop today, there are so many things you can do to help regulate your circadian rhythm and your hormones and all of these things. But within a month of taking, a daily CBD or hemp flower extract regimen, which I will add that consistency is key with this. So it is a daily supplement, the same way your protein or your vitamin C or whatever you're supplementing with. Think of it the same way, rather than THC, I guess I would say, is more, people use that as a spot treatment, if you will. And CBD, you really do want to have consistency with that routine. It should just become, part of what you do every day. But I now fall asleep, no problem. I stay asleep. I'm one of those people who tracks my sleep cycle. So I was actually able to see the data behind what I was doing with my sleep and, what the REM sleep and the deep sleep and all the different things. And it was really impressive to me to see how that had changed. And then I firmly believe that with a regulated sleep cycle, everything else in your life improves. And I know that Green Door also is very much a proponent of that. So my patience with my kids or my reactiveness, all of that sort of started to fade away. And recommendations, people are always asking, what products do you recommend? Because it is very individual, but at the same time, we kind of everyone should start in sort of the same place to get that foundation and then see what you need to treat from there. And that baseline treatment or, regimen may be sufficient to get your body back in alignment enough and homeostasis that is all you need. So I'm not a bad sleeper. I didn't need melatonin. I didn't need all these other things. What I needed was to regulate my sleep cycle so that everything else would, it's like a compound effect from there. And just taking the CBD jellies was sufficient for me. Now I take one a day and it's great. So we usually recommend people, depending on the severity of your issues, it's like you can take a jelly in the morning, and a jelly at night. And then, you just decide between the full and the broad spectrum. Usually if people are having sleep issues, we recommend taking it in the evening right before bed, so that that's when it's, helping your body wind down. It'll help, relax your nervous system, reduce those stress levels, all of that. For anxiety, mood, and stress, same thing. It's that jelly a day, or you can do a tincture if that's your preferred method. And again, it's helping regulate the chemical signals, and rebalancing your nervous system. So if that's something that you struggle with, we have a lot of clients that use this either in addition to anxiety medications, or they use it to wean off of anxiety medications. For me personally, I was using magnesium and like some other stuff for sleep, and I have since been able to remove all of those, which magnesium is great. There's nothing wrong with it, but I found I don't need it anymore, which I think is really, really cool. Let's see what else. And then the pain profile. This is a really important one, I think, because a lot of people, especially dealing with chronic pain, I was just talking to someone right before this call who had a knee replacement and it's not healing well. And she just has chronic pain, and that turns into depression, frustration, so many other things because of that chronic pain. And CBD and hemp flower extract, and we have a couple other, targeted products, actually work in our body in much the same way as NSAIDs or Tylenol. There's an interaction with the COX-2 receptors to manage pain response. So it can have a really incredible anti-inflammatory and pain-reducing effect in the body. And then we've talked about a couple of these already in some of our testimonials, and I'll let Katya jump in here too. But like Lisa mentioned, and I found the same thing, it really is an incredible alternative replacement for alcohol. Like if anybody is a fan of James Clear talking about building habits or changing habits, one of the best ways to break a habit that is no longer serving you is to replace it with something else. And this can absolutely be that replacement, because it will actually be de-stressing your body and helping you regulate, without just dulling your senses and kind of numbing you, if you will, and then making your body go through that whole process of trying to eliminate the toxins. So Katya, is there anything you want to jump in and add?
No, I think I'll just share, there was talk of, do kids really use these? And I'm just going to share a client testimonial. I've actually had many, but where a parent is trying to do the best that they can for their child, obviously, and they've seen a doctor and the doctor recommended them going on some prescription meds, and they are really resistant and reluctant to go that route. Especially to jump right into it. So this is a tool that they could use, a holistic approach to try these products and see if it makes a difference before taking that next step. And for many, it actually provides the results that they were looking for. I've had a 7-year-old use case where he said, "Mommy, I feel like this is a seatbelt for my brain." He was really hyperactive. And, that just pulls on your heartstrings. I have my own testimonial with my nephew. He was in 4th grade, and same thing. They tried this first, and we didn't tell the teachers. And in 2 weeks, the teachers said, "What is he on?" Because he's a different kid. And the only thing that they changed was using CBD. So just a couple of testimonials that I wanted to share.
Yeah, and I think, and this is where it is really important and why Katya and I are so passionate about talking about this and sharing it with people, because it does matter what you're using, what other things. I mean, anytime either one of us talk to somebody who's considering implementing, CBD or hemp wellness in their life, it's like, okay, what else are you doing? What is the cause of your stress? What what do you eat in a day? Like, give me a rundown of what a typical day in your life so that we can see, is this really, because if you're eating, processed food all day and sitting at a desk and like not seeing the sun or whatever it is, like all the CBD in the world is not going to solve that. So it's like, we like to say, it's a tool in your toolkit. It can absolutely help everyone, but you also need to be helping yourself, if that makes sense. It can fix a lot of things, but it won't fix everything without, sort of that holistic approach and looking at all those other lifestyle things.
I want to share one other testimonial. I
Yeah.
was in a women's circle last week, and it was 11 of us, and 3 of the women were breast cancer survivors. One of them, the 2 of them had never heard of Green Compass, but one of them had, and she actually was taking our products, and specifically the jellies, the full spectrum jellies at night, and CBDA. Actually, I have it right here. CBDA, which is the acidic form of CBD. It's the precursor to CBD, so it's 10 times more absorbent. It's really great for, nausea, cycles. It really does replace your ibuprofen, if you want to think of it simply, inflammation, etc. And so she was using those products during her chemo treatment. And, when she went to go visit the doctor, they would go through this whole list of symptoms and asking, do you have bone pain? Do you have nausea? Do you have headaches? And she kept saying, no, no, no. And the doctors were floored. They were like, wait, what are you doing? And she said, the only thing I changed were taking these products. And so she couldn't believe it herself. And she saw that the other women in her chemotherapy group were not experiencing the same amazing non-symptoms that she was. And so she was so moved by this that now she's speaking at Dana-Farber and trying to educate people on the benefits of hemp wellness and what to look out for. So just wanted to share that.
Yeah, it's one of those things, honestly, like the more stories we hear about it, the more powerful it becomes. And that's why I said, like, a lot of the information out there is anecdotal, but the research is coming to back it up, and the science is already there to back it up. It's just the research is always slow, especially when there are people who will not benefit from it. So it's one of those things where I definitely recommend talking to somebody who knows about these products and how to use them versus you just grabbing something off the shelf. Definitely, please don't buy it at the gas station. We'll get into a little bit of, things to look for if you are going to buy CBD products, because there are some key things that separate brands. There'll be night and day experiences. And this is one, just because people always ask, what are the side effects? Truly, it's a plant medicine and one of the only medicines you will find that doesn't have negative side effects. You can't overdose on it. It's not addictive. It's not habit forming. And the whole point of it with CBD is more is not more. So the goal is to find you the lowest dose that your body needs to function properly. You don't build a tolerance to it the same way we do with THC, because THC actually binds to your receptors. And so you can build up an immunity where you do need more and more and more and more. Whereas CBD is more like a traffic director that helps get your system functioning properly so that those receptors and transmitters, like all of that, is back in homeostasis. So you're not building up a tolerance there. Honestly, if you ate the whole thing of jellies because they taste delicious, you might get a stomach ache. And that's probably more from like the sugar on the outside than the actual CBD. But yeah, and the nice thing is if you do experience any negative symptoms, you have a reset for a couple of days and restart at a lower dose. And it's really easy to do that to find what works best for you. Okay, so Katya, do you want to do why Green Compass?
Yeah. So these are the things that I'm going to list out that are important. There are some brands that do a piece of this, We haven't found one that does all of these things yet. But we're hoping that we set the standard so that as more brands come out on the market, that they will follow our lead. So you want to make sure that it's USDA organic certified, not organically farmed. There's a lot of mislabeling on packaging. It has to have the USDA certification label, which you guys probably all know. It looks like that. You've seen it before. That's the first thing that you want to look out for. What's really neat about Green Compass is that we're vertically integrated, meaning that we own our own farms. Everything is out of Wilmington, North Carolina. The farmers are 6th generation USDA organic certified farmers, and they were part of the US Hemp Pilot Program. Furthermore, we're actually part of the nonprofit US Hemp Roundtable board. And so we go to Washington and we speak with representatives and talk about the regulatory issues that need to come into the marketplace so that people who are buying CBD off the shelf or even in gas stations, that they know that they're getting a quality product. Unfortunately, what's going on right now is that 80% of bottles are mislabeled, and most of the hemp that's in those products are shipped over from places like China, which are using this plant to clear up pollution and the environment, because the hemp plant is a scavenger plant. So it sucks everything up that's in the ground, the air. And that's why the USDA organic certification is really important, because we're testing the soil too. And we're making sure that 5 miles around the farm is also organic, USDA organic certified. So not cheap to do, but the right thing to do. The other thing that you want to make sure that your CBD brand is doing, or hemp wellness brand is doing, is CO2 extraction. It's the cleanest way to extract the hemp oil from the plant. Some other companies will use ethanol and butane, and those can end up in your final product, and you definitely don't want to be ingesting those. We also only use the hemp flower only, so it's the most potent part of the plant. A lot of other companies will use, the aerial parts, the stems, the seeds, and that actually dilutes the product. So we're taking the highest quality part of the plant and putting it into the final product, and that's all we're doing. We are also traceability is really important. So on every bottle, you'll see a QR code, and you can scan it, and it'll give our third-party testing certificate of analysis, and it'll show you exactly what's in it. And as Christine mentioned, because it's the hemp flower extract, it'll show you the amounts of CBD, the amounts of CBN, the amounts of CBG that are in that product. And that's pretty cool to watch too. We also have pet treats, and it's pretty fun to watch, like, oh, my pet is getting CBG, which is like really good for their mood, and inflammation. So it's just kind of neat that it goes not only for us humans, but it's also good for anyone that has a spine. And then, it's 30-day money back guarantee. So there really is no risk. So those main things are really what sets us apart from other brands. Yep, I think I covered that. That's a little bit more in depth.
Yep. Okay, so like I mentioned, that the benefits of CBD are really experienced through daily use. I am going to try to share this video. We'll see if the sound works. If it doesn't, we'll send it out after, and then I'll just walk through explaining it. But if it works, this is always like the easiest.
This is where we recommend you guys to start. It's basically gives you what Christine was saying, your daily supplementation needs. You can pick, if you think you'd be more consistent with a gummy, you could pick a gummy. If you think you want to try a gummy and a tincture to see which way you like better. It's basically a buy one, get one offer for first-time customers. So see if you can play it so they can see it.
Okay. Tell me if you guys can actually, oh, sure, why not? Tell me if you guys can hear this when it actually starts playing.
Are you ready to begin your hemp-based wellness journey? The Balance and Restore collection is the solution for your whole body wellness needs. Reinforcing your daily dosage of CBD through our balancing tinctures and jellies and the option to add restorative CBG collagen, Balance and Restore lays the foundation for your ultimate wellness routine. At Green Compass, we recommend starting with 25 milligrams of CBD per day to best support your body's needs. Because full body wellness can look different based on the individual, Balance and Restore is a customizable product combination. We offer full and broad spectrum hemp flower extract tinctures, full and broad spectrum nano jellies, and our lemon lime or chocolate collagen. From these 6 products, you'll select 2. You'll choose your products based on your desire to consume or not consume THC, your preferred product delivery method, and your body's need. If you don't wish to consume THC, you'll select broad spectrum instead of full spectrum tinctures or nano jellies. If your preferred delivery method is under the tongue versus chewing, you'll opt for tinctures instead of jellies. If you're wanting to support bone and joint health or promote strong hair, skin, and nails, you'll select our collagen. You're in full control of how you decide to begin your hemp-based wellness journey with Green Compass. You can make a one-time purchase of the Balance and Restore collection for $199, or you can join our Perks Club for greater savings. In our Perks Club, in month 1, you purchase the Balance and Restore collection for $99. In month 2, the price increases to $159 monthly, and you remain consistent with your hemp wellness routine to unlock month 3 benefits. In month 3, after 2 consecutive months of replenishment orders, you unlock free shipping for your ongoing replenishment orders.
Just wait a little bit ago.
It just cut out the video, the sound. I don't know what happened. Oh, you're on mute, Christine. That's why.
Balance and Restore collection. Reach out to the advocate who shared this video with you for your next steps.
Okay.
All right.
About
And
that.
we like to, that's okay. We like to share that because it's easier than explaining it. And I'm a visual person. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, basically you would pick 2 out of the 6 products that are offered, and you would get it for $99 if you do the perks program. It's a great BOGO offer. And then if you do stay consistent with it, after the 3rd month on, your shipping is free. You do have the option to edit and modify it. You can switch it out for different products, and your advocate can help you with that. In this case, it would be Green Door Life. Christine can help. I can help. So yeah, so that's sort of where we would recommend you guys to start. But we wanted to open it up for questions, right, Christine? Or where are we going next?
Yeah, no, I think questions are great. I just wanted to say, like, to Katya's point, like the best place for everyone to start really is on that 30-day, just give your body a chance to recalibrate with the like a basic regimen, and then you can go from there. But yeah, no, happy to open it up to questions. If anybody has, we can go back and look in the chat too, but anyone who has questions, please feel free to come off mute right now, and you're welcome to ask wherever you're more comfortable. And yeah, and Lisa just dropped the Green Compass link for the Balance and Restore collection in the chat. So you guys are welcome to look at that too. And if you're not sure which products to start with, we're happy to give recommendations on that. Yeah, Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in on, I think with stuff like this, especially with, hemp and CBD, it sounds like just a lot of this conditioning from way back in the day around like marijuana and kind of like this fear-mongering information about this plant. But when you think about it, and you think about the stuff that we regularly give our children, our bodies, like from the pharmaceutical perspective, like things like something as simple as melatonin. I'm looking at all these products in the kids, medication aisle, and I'm like, this is a hormone. And melatonin is not something that you want to give your kids or yourself regularly, because when you give your body something like that, especially a hormone, you stop producing it yourself. And so this, like choosing something like CBD to help with sleep, if you're doing all the things and you're still anxious or stressful, or your kids are suffering, if they're have some sort of autoimmune disorder or are on the spectrum, kind of what you were saying, Kiana, this is such a better option than giving your children or yourself melatonin. And we think, oh, it's over the counter, it's no big deal. Or ibuprofen, some of these things will blast your gut microbiome and make you feel worse in other ways, whereas this is coming from this natural plant product. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there, because it's also like this generational thing. I was talking about it with my mom, and she was like, I can't take that, it's marijuana. And I'm like, Mom, I love you. No, I sat her down and I gave her the education around it. I gave this woman half of the not the gummy with the THC, so the
The
broad
broad
one.
spectrum.
Yep. I gave her half of one. I have never seen this woman so calm in her life. And I'm working with her now, like, why don't you try this instead of alcohol, right?
Mhm.
Because I know the impact that alcohol is having on her. So I think part of this is just going to be this societal shift that we see of viewing something like CBD as so restorative in comparison to a lot of these over-the-counter even products and pharmaceutical products that are actually highly detrimental to the body. So I just wanted to
Well,
share my 2
Yeah,
cents.
no, and I think that's a really good point. And also to your point, we take medications recommended by medical professionals or whatever, and they come with a huge insert of known potential terrible side effects. And we're like, sure, give it to me anyway. You said it was good. So, like people ask me so many detailed questions sometimes about hemp and CBD, which I'm grateful for because it gives me the opportunity to explain. But I'm like, do you ask those questions about the Tylenol before you open that bottle? Or do you ask that about like the gummies, the just like snack gummies, fruit gummies that you give your kids or whatever, like you're totally right. It's conditioning that we're taught to overthink something that's been like taken away from us and we've been made to think is bad versus all of this marketing where they're like, no, all of this, eat all of this. Don't ask what's in it. So yeah. All right, Carrie, I saw your hand go up. What's your question?
Okay, so my question, hi Mama. My question is based off what Lisa said. So if her mom felt calm after one, but you said you're supposed to take it daily, does it take 30 days for like the effect to see if it's working or not? Or is this like something like you're gonna know on day 3 if it's like working?
It's individual, and I'll let Katya share her experience too. But for me, it took like 2 or 3 weeks for me to really be able to tell that things were different. And people always ask, like, what does CBD feel like? It should not feel like anything. It should feel like the absence of something is kind of how I describe it. Like it's the absence of stress. It's the absence of sleep issues. It's things like that. But then like I'm seeing Lisa and Shannon put in, some people are highly sensitive and absolutely see changes and differences right away.
It also depends
so it's,
it depends how depleted your endocannabinoid system is too.
mm-hmm.
So for me, when I took it and I felt immediate release because my nervous system was so shot. So I know I was highly, highly depleted. And for others, it takes, I didn't notice my sleep improve until 30 days taking the products consistently. And then I was like, oh, this is what sleep really feels like. I had no idea. So that was really neat as well. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. So but we say 30 days because that is really within 30 days you will experience something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we'll do Shannon and then Kiana. I see your hand is up too, so we'll take you next. Go for it, Shannon.
I just thought it would be helpful to get participation from everyone and what they're thinking about using CBD for. Mm-hmm. So for those of you who are here and you're even like hearing any of this, if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, I'm thinking of using it for this, or I'm thinking of using it for that. Because what I noticed when I first started taking this product is I had no idea how many uses there were for it. And so it was only when I started to like hear from other individuals, like, oh, people were getting off of their anxiety medication with CBD, so I'm wondering, when you guys decided that you wanted to come on this call, what were you looking to have support with? Like even in the chat, ADHD, depression, anxiety. Yeah, because then it's like we can almost speak into those things more specifically. Mm-hmm. And Lena, like I have a girl here who's in Nashville. She's a Green Compass advocate, and she was also a personal trainer. And she has 4 clients that she's been working with them to use the CBDA to get off of their depression medication. And I was like, what? Like that's a big deal. So yeah, just some of those things might be really helpful so that we can even like speak directly to some of it. I'm sorry, I lost my chat. Oh,
Yeah, it looks like, so we've got fatigue, substitute for the end of day glass of wine, gut issues, acid, inflammation. So does my cat. Yep. Oh, and then Lisa loves the surprise bonus is the skincare. So CBG actually is in our skincare products, and it isn't, because it's such a strong anti-inflammatory, it does wonders for your skin. But to kind of go back to some of those initial things. So for depression, anxiety, CBDA is really powerful. Our full spectrum, either tinctures or jellies, are very powerful. Some people will find that they might have a sensitivity to THC. So I usually recommend starting those full spectrum products at night to get your body used to it. But like I'm at a point, I can take it day or night. Some people alternate the full spectrum in the evening and like the broad spectrum during the day. I know Shannon played around with that a little bit. Because the other thing that's cool about this, I laugh because every time I talk about it, I'm like, it does this and this and this. But it can help improve focus and like reduce brain fog and some of that kind of stuff too. So gut health and those kind of issues. We have a ton of nerves in our gut, and a lot of inflammation can happen there. So it absolutely affects that. We also have a collagen that has CBG in it, which is anti-inflammatory and a mood stabilizer. Can kind of be a little energizing for some people. So a lot of people like, I'll use that to make mocktails around 5 o'clock or non-alcoholic beverages. I make it in a wine glass, so I feel like I'm drinking something fun. That was my replacement to get rid of that end of the day glass of wine. And yeah, I mean, the cool thing is it can replace so many things, and it's all just doing so much good for your body to get back into functioning the way it's supposed to be, so that everything else can work as it's intended. All of your other systems can do their jobs. And if you are trying to remove alcohol, that also helps because it's letting your organs and other systems do their job. They're not having to like pause to get rid of this alcohol and the toxins. And, you know, basically like it shuts down our systems to go process that alcohol. So it kind of puts you in like a fight or flight response. You're in like a constant state of stress when you've got that alcohol in your body. And if you remove that, you're going to remove stress. You're going to remove anxiety. You're going to rebalance the system so that your liver and all those things are working the way they're supposed to be in your body.
Yeah, our collagen, I'm going to talk about the gut stuff too. So our collagens actually can be really supportive for gut health as well. So people will take that in the morning to start their day, and they'll take it with, we do have a digestive jelly product as well. So it has the apple cider vinegar and pepper and some other ingredients in it that I don't remember off the top of my head, but
Turmeric.
What is it?
Turmeric and black pepper. Yeah, lots of good anti-inflammatory stuff.
So they'll take it with that. And then they will take it with the broad spectrum jelly just to, if they want to just start their day with focus and calm. For fatigue, we do recommend a broad spectrum versus the full spectrum because of the trace amounts of THC. It could make you a little sleepy. So not everybody, like I couldn't take the full spectrum during the day. I wouldn't be very productive. I'd probably want to take a nap. But with the broad spectrums, I'm energized. I have my collagen. I either take it in the morning or make that mocktail in the afternoon. And for someone that I did find myself in this consuming of alcohol trap during COVID. And I didn't really like that. It just felt like it was getting carried away. And since starting these products, I feel like my drinking has become much more intentional. I will have the occasional cocktail, but I'm mindful about it. And it's not because I need it. It's because I'm making that decision consciously to have it.
Yeah. And going back, because I'm just looking through the chat, Katya, going back through a couple, like Johanna mentioned that she used to use a combination of Green Compass and prescriptions for anxiety, which worked for her, but she's been able to wean off of those anxiety meds, and the Green Compass is now enough to support her body and those anxious feelings.
Testimonial.
And then Christine said same thing. She's been using Green Compass and prescriptions for anxiety, and is hoping to continue to use the CBD for that baseline so that you can reduce the use of the prescriptions, if that's a goal. Some people are perfectly happy with a combination, and they can work really well together. But if that's a goal, it's a really helpful tool for things like that.
If you guys are curious and you're getting, if you're geeking out like we did in this space, because it is so interesting. There's a really good documentary that's on Amazon Prime called CBD Nation. Has anyone seen it? I highly recommend you watch that. It is really informative and moving at the same time. And then lastly, we didn't talk about this, but we did want to talk about healthcare professionals or people that are in the medical field or, healing practitioners, that they really do add this in as an extra stream of income in their, as a tool in their toolkit. So if that is something, if you're in the healing space or, fitness or in the medical field or, any sort of modality.
Anything related to wellness.
Yes, exactly. And that's something that interests you. Please reach out to Lisa or Shannon and we can have that conversation too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kiana, I want to make sure we get to your question.
Mm-hmm.
Hey y'all. So my question is, I kind of went cold turkey on all of the meds that I was prescribed. Some of the meds I have been taking for like 5-6+ years. And there's a particular medicine that I take. It's called hydroxine, or that I used to take, and it actually, I think it helps with my nerve system. I was having some issues in my body, and that was the only pill that I was able to take that would actually help me. And I was actually having an issue the other day, and I was like, okay, let me take this medicine. But it made me sleepy for like 3 days. The question is, will by using like the drops or the gummies, will it like help with the nerve? Well, I know based off the information that you guys have shown, it will help with the nerve system, but like my thing is I have like transitioned over to marijuana, and I didn't want to say it out loud, but that's just something that I do. And it helps, and it's something that I don't want to rely on. I don't have it all the time. I'm not addicted to it, but it literally helps me with my anxiety. But it would be amazing to try different products that, I can use that's not, marijuana or, I don't drink. So, well, I drink every now and again, but what will the difference be totally overall from transitioning to marijuana to the CBD, like the drops and the gummies and things in that matter? Like, will it help with I asked that question, will it help with the nerve system and like just the overall, like will it help with skin, like just
It's
Yeah.
like it's an ultimate supplement for your system. So yes, a lot of people will say they've been taking marijuana for the exact same reasons that you mentioned, and they don't want the high anymore.
Yeah.
So they will transition over to CBD, which is actually more effective and it's not addictive and will, provide you that same release. So for you in particular, I would select a broad spectrum product for the day. The medication you talked about is commonly prescribed for anxiety, and that's what we would replace as probably a broad spectrum, either jelly or tincture for you to try during the day. And then if you, take marijuana at night and you want a replacement for that, that's where I would go with the full spectrum jellies or tincture at night. That would be your replacement.
And that's exactly when I do it, when my kids can't see.
Yep.
So,
Heard the song and dance.
And you don't have to hide this one from the kids.
that part. Also, I'm sorry to take up all the time, but both of my boys are on the spectrum. They're twins. And I'm not big on giving them medicine at all. No doctor has, they're not like disabled to the point that they need medicine, but they're getting older and their focus isn't normal. they're growing up and they still have, loud symptoms of autism and the short, the short span focus, will that, like, which product would you recommend to help me help them? Because I need us to progress, get better.
So you would take a full jelly of, if you were going to get the jellies, which I kind of recommend, it's the easiest thing to start with, just to simplify it for you. The broad spectrum jellies, which are part of that, good deal or whatever, you would take a full one in the morning and you'd split one up for them and give them each a half and start there. We do find that sometimes you need to give another half to children in the afternoon. It just, again, depends, how they do, and it's perfectly fine to do that, but start with a half for each of them.
I have a couple clients who, just to give a little testimonial, one specifically was telling me that, she's been getting daily, calls or emails from the school about behavior issues. And since starting her, speaking of children, here's one of mine, since starting her son on a half a jelly every morning, within like a week, the calls she was getting from the teacher were, "I've never seen your child sit so still." It turned around and was all positive feedback. Like he turned it into, a leader in the class. And hearing those stories to me is just like, it's incredible. And I love being able to help parents support their kids in the best way. And it really can make a huge difference, and it's safe. And that's really what we all want for our children, is a safe way to support them and functioning as best they can. There's a lot thrown at them every day. So if we can support, I think you've got nothing to lose. Okay, sorry. Next to be Shannon. Did you have a question too?
No, I was just supporting Kiana's question. I was like, can't forget about her. I think are we about wrapped up, you guys?
Yes, I think we are good. I would just say, if anyone has questions, reach out to Shannon and Lisa, and Katya and I are available to them as well. So we're happy to make personalized recommendations. They dropped their link in the chat, and we'll send it out via email afterwards as well, if it's something you want to try. But happy to open this conversation. Thank you guys for the opportunity to share and educate a little bit about this with you guys. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's like, we're just happy to have more of the education to understand, if we do choose to use something like CBD, what's the best way to do it and why, and how can it really support us. So of course, we're just always looking to give you guys the best information that we can, and also things that we've tried ourselves, and then share that experience. So thank you everyone who was able to join. So nice to see some of your faces. Thank you so much, Katya and Christine, for your time and your education. And we hope to see you guys at the next one. We'll have more coming up this year. All right.
Bye.